Okay, assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome back to the YouTube channel for another banger. This is episode 23. 23 MJ Michael.
I like that.
Alhamdulillah, I'm happy to be and honored to be accompanied by my brother, my friend, someone who's gonna shed a lot of light, Jamal, the brother from the UK.
Salam, you're right.
Salam.
You're right.
Man, that was a serious handshake, bro. that was like, you had a little umph on there. But yeah, guys, look, so we are going to try to benefit you guys from every aspect because this is what this podcast is about. So first I want to pass it over to you. You go ahead, enter your camera. You can introduce yourself to the people on YouTube and also for the listeners for the Apple Podcasts and Spotify, because at some point it's going to be on those platforms.
Got it. Yeah. All right. Assalamu alaikum. I'm Jamal Muse, Jamal Muse, however you want to say it. I'm from the UK, originally from Somalia, and I'm the one who's humbled and honored to be sitting in front of our brother here, Darren. And a bit about me, I'm from London and I've been in Dubai now. It's going to be 4 years in July, inshallah. I've been out to the UK for a little while. I've been in Doha, I've been in Riyadh, I've been in Kuwait. I've been around the Gulf for some time, but now my home is Dubai and I'm into e-commerce. I used to be a high school maths teacher. I've taught in schools in the UK and abroad, and in the last 9 years I've been doing e-commerce, building, scaling and selling brands, and in the last 4 years I've also been helping and coaching other people do the same thing.
Bro, mashallah, that's a nice resume. So clearly the first thing, so you've been here just as long as I have.
Yeah, almost.
Like literally you've been here just as long as I have. Tell us a little bit about the other Gulf places, because like many people only know about the UAE, especially nowadays. Like nowadays, it's like a huge trend for people to just come from the UK to the UAE. Right. But what about, I heard Qatar. Like, I like how that sounds. I heard Kuwait. I like even more how that one sounds. Tell me a little bit more about the other Gulf places.
Kuwait has a soft spot in my heart only because I got married there. I got married there.
From someone from there? Or like,
no,
did you just get married to somebody you knew, but you got married in that country?
No, her family are still there to this day, but she was raised there. But I met her in London. This is my wife.
Okay.
So she came to my university as an international student to do her master's. And in that year is when I made my moves, so to speak, and and then the following year we got married in Kuwait. So Kuwait has a soft spot in my heart. I go there very often to visit my in-laws, but as a country, it's a dump hole.
Oh, really? But I heard, like, I had seen something online that supposed to be by like 2030, Kuwait is meant to be like one of the number one places for food.
Their food is good. Their food has always been good, and I like my food. But when the Gulf War happened in the early 90s, and Iraq invaded Kuwait, they had rebuilt their country following the war, and they were just really advanced, very clean, very, all of their I's dotted, T's crossed. But then in the last 20, 30 years, things just slowed down massively. 20 years, I'd say. So, and I go there often and I compare it to Dubai and Doha. It's just not the same. The way it's built, the streets, the potholes on the ground, the people, it gives you a totally different vibe. And it had every advantage over all the other countries.
To be the best.
It could have been the best, but I think just due to many factors, it just isn't. But Doha has an even softer spot in my heart. I lived there for 6 years, bro. Doha is something else. I wasn't even in Doha. I was in a city called Al-Khor. Exactly, which is like 40 minutes from Doha. I was there for 6 years. My daughter was born there, and it's one of the best places to live. I didn't want to leave.
So you did leave, but so why did you leave though?
Why did I leave? That's a very good question. I left because I went there initially because I was teaching at a British school. I got myself at a job teaching maths at a British school. I did that for 3 years. While I was teaching, I started my whole e-commerce business on the side.
What year was it?
This was, I joined the school in 2015.
Okay.
And then I started my business in 2016.
Okay, mashallah.
Because the working hours were calm. They were amazing. I'd start work by 6:45 in the morning. By 1:45, I'm done. 2 p.m., I'm home.
And that's 2 p.m. in this time zone.
Exactly.
So back in the other time zone, it was like 11.
It was early days, man. It was great. So I'd be home by 2. I'd have a little nap. I'd pray Asr, and then boom, I've got the whole day to myself.
Yeah. And then especially in the summers and stuff like that, then the heat is so hot. Then by the evenings, you're actually able to maneuver and move around and stuff like that even better. Man, mashallah. Yeah, I see why you didn't want to leave.
yeah, and it was great. But then I started my business on the side, working in the evenings after I'd put the kids to bed on the weekends. And then I had no grand ambitions. It was just a side hustle, make a few extra $100 to pay for this and that, you know, the nice things in life. I was largely comfortable. You know, I'm not going to tell you the sad old story about I was struggling and I needed to.
No, we don't want to hear those stories all the time.
Yeah. But and some of those stories sometimes are just kind of blown out of proportion.
Or exaggerated.
Yeah, exactly. But I was comfortable. They gave me a villa. They were paying for my flights back home. My kids' fees were covered, the school fees. But I'm not one to be comfortable.
Yeah.
I can't, like, I get uncomfortable when I'm too comfortable.
Say that again.
I get uncomfortable when I'm too comfortable.
That's an amazing statement. Okay, so clearly Kuwait and Qatar have spots in your hearts. When you met your spouse in Kuwait, is your spouse from the same country as you?
She's from Somalia.
Okay, so there's no how would I say it? Culture clash.
No. So her roots are the same as mine, but she's never been to Somalia.
But you have.
I was born there. I left when I was 2.
Okay.
And that was it.
But have you been back?
No, I haven't.
Really?
No, I haven't, bro.
But you must go back and check it out.
I will
at some point.
I will, inshallah, at some point. Yeah. But I've when the war kicked off, all of my family, my distant and immediate relatives, they all fled. So I've got family in Canada, in America, Norway, you know, Holland, and mostly in the UK. So if I go back, I'm sure I've got someone that I might be related to, but everyone I know are not there.
Yeah. And you know what? I'm gonna say something. We are happy. I mean, me being from America, I remember when I first accepted Islam, one of the things I clearly remember is that the Imam, or the one who led the Salah in Ramadan, was from Somalia. And it's one of the things in Ramadan that gave me that, like, you know, push where it's like, wow, this is amazing. This sounds amazing. This is like, you know, and so big shout out to the Somalis all around the world. Everybody, they're everywhere, literally. Yeah, they're literally everywhere. So, okay, cool. That's so interesting. So you started Amazon FBA as a side hustle. It wasn't like you were like, you know, joined it as a trend and you were like, oh yeah, I'm about to, not even, I mean, FBA, like, yeah, FBA, which is fulfillment based.
Yeah, fulfilled by Amazon.
Fulfilled by Amazon, yeah. So it's funny because, you know, I actually tried that myself, but
okay,
I don't want to talk too much about mine. I want to know more about yours. Like so you didn't do it as like oh yeah, I'm trying to do this full time. You just started it when you were teaching. So
I first came across it in 2014.
Yeah.
In 2014, and it was one of those things I'd see online. That's when it first came on my radar. And like most people, when you first come across a money-making opportunity, you're proper skeptical. You're like, okay, whatever, you know. And it's not real. It's not tangible. Mm-hmm. And then 1 year later, in 2015, one of my boys started. And when he started it, I'm like, oh, cool. I'll see how it goes through him. Mm-hmm. And then he started to make some money. And he was my boy. And I knew him personally. Yeah. And when he made about $60,000 over 4 months, selling some baby accessories. I'm like, okay. And then I still didn't do anything because I was busy and I was comfortable. It takes either pain or pleasure to change your situation.
Say that again. I'm going to make you, every time you say something very, very good, I'm going to make you say it twice.
Then I'm going to start dropping bars then.
Yeah. In order to...
In order to change something about your life, you either need to be chasing pleasure or avoiding pain. That's how human psychology works.
Yeah. That's deep.
Yeah, and I wasn't in any great pain, and I was living a very there wasn't any impetus to, chase that pleasure of making money online. But then something happened at school that changed the entire equation, where I felt I was hard done by my school. There was an opportunity. I applied. I was the best candidate. According to their policy, even if you are not qualified, even if you, regardless of who you are, if you are an internal candidate, you are guaranteed an interview.
Yeah. If you're an internal,
you're
guaranteed the interview.
Yeah. So
please don't tell me they didn't give the interview.
I didn't get the interview.
SubhanAllah.
So they broke their policy.
And that's from you working there previously.
I was there. I'd been working there for a year and a half, and I applied, and I thought, you know what? I'm the youngest candidate, and there are these older people applying, external and internal. But at least, you know what? Just give me that interview, give me that shot, and I'll show them what I can do. Yeah. And I wasn't even given that shot. And that's when I decided, amongst other reasons, that if I'm going to change anything about my life, my destiny, I can't let someone else sitting in an office decide whether or not Jamal can get the interview, get the job. I'm like, that's too much control and power someone else has over my life.
That's deep. Yeah, and I've always been the same way, where like I don't like people having any kind of, let me not say power, but I don't like that at all. Like I just cannot take it. Like I can't take it. Like I don't like it. Yeah, at all. 0%. So yeah, and
that was the pain that got me to finally say, right, you know what, I'm gonna do Amazon. And even when I had that when I took that first step, it was only to make an extra $500 to $1,000 a month. That's all I wanted. If I made that through e-commerce, man, I would buzzing. I would have been set. That would have covered the kids' extracurricular activities, would have bought the missus a nice little exciting. It would have been sweet. That was my goal. I had no grand ambitions, bro.
Yeah. And then what ended up happening, and how did, first, what ended up happening with Amazon, and how are you helping people today? And then how did you go from Qatar to here? Because I hear a lot of times people, they're like, oh, I'm a digital nomad. Like, bro, when we started this thing and you was like, I've been here, you are really the true definition of a digital nomad. So walk me through how, what happened with the Amazon? What is the, I'm going to ask more questions about it, but what happened with Amazon? How did you get here and digital nomad?
Yeah, let me talk about how I got here, because I started my Amazon or e-commerce journey in 2016. And then within 2 years, I was able to go full time and leave my job. So since 2018, I've been doing nothing but e-commerce, alhamdulillah. So in 2018 was when I went full time. But my wife was also a teacher at the school. So she was a physics teacher.
Yeah.
And so I was able to stay in the country because I went from being sponsored by my school to now being sponsored by my wife.
Yes. And many people don't know about that, but that is definitely a possibility, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So she became my sponsor, and through her, I was able to stay in the country. And that's how the Gulf countries work. You can't stay there without a sponsor. Now, long story short, 2018, I went full time. I doubled down on the business. Boom, 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 boom. Alhamdulillah, I grew it. I built a team. In 2021, the business was big enough to support not only to support and replace my old salary, but also support the entire family. So the missus didn't have to work anymore. So when we decided that she wasn't going to work anymore, we needed a way to stay in the country because we loved it. It was our home. Mm-hmm. We were there for 6 years, and I found a local sponsor. I opened a company. I paid 50,000 riyals, and the way they work is you need a local partner.
Yeah, I know about that.
Yeah, a local partner who has 51% ownership of the company. And I wasn't doing business in Qatar. I was doing business in America and the UK.
Of course.
But in order to stay there, I needed some kind of company, even if it was like just a skeleton company. And I got someone, I paid him, but it was just long. And it was like I needed to open a bank account and I had to wait for him to come. And one day he was out of the country. And it was just, I'm like, will this be how it'll go down for the next few years? And then I said, screw this, man. I didn't want to leave the country, but I said I'm not autonomous. I'm running my own business, but I can't do anything without my partner.
Yeah. Oh man. So you have a similar situation to me with how what I faced here. And it was nowhere near the magnitude of what you faced. Now, what you faced was almost a near 50-50 split. The local sponsor that we had on the real estate company here, he was just there because it was a civil company. Because many people don't know that there's a difference between civil and LLC. So we were a civil company operating as a real estate company, right? Now we had the partners, and then we had also the local agent. Now the local agent, in order for any major shifts or approvals or anything, or establishment cards for opening for labor, or on and on and on, the many vast avenues in having a business here and immigration for here, we needed to get approval for him. So there was one day when I needed to get approval for something, and they were like, oh, well, we don't have the ID, and it's in DIP, and you're in DARA, and I'm like, bruh, I'm not about to go 1 hour or 45 minutes that way and hope that this person gonna be there just so you can approve and do this and that. So I just went ahead and I made a mistake. No one else do this. Yeah, I'm looking at all the cameras. Don't do this. Don't just go and without telling or getting approval from the company that you're working with or whatever it is. Don't just remove the local agent off and start an LLC. It's probably possible to do it because that person was not responsive, but then at some time they're going to come back around. They're going to be responsive. And when they become responsive and they realize that they're not on the trade license with you, then you have to pay them back compensation because it's in the contract, yeah, that you can't remove them or you get penalized. So we got penalized. We had to pay it, but alhamdulillah, it was the penalization was not bad because in the long run, it worked out to be the best decision. Yeah, so I think it's similar to yours as well.
And that's why I literally just packed up our things and we flew from Doha to Dubai. Yeah, and the rest.
So you came to Dubai. You didn't go Sharjah, Ajman, Abu Dhabi?
No.
So why Dubai? Because many people are saying the Sharjah and Ajman. Why you come to Dubai?
Why not? It's Dubai. it's where it's all at, right?
Yeah.
And Dubai is so massive that you can, and because I was working from home, I was very selective about where I could live.
Yeah.
And for the first 90 days. Sorry, more like 60 days,
Yeah.
I stayed like in an Airbnb and I was able to really travel and see where do I want to live because I didn't have to be close to work. I was working from home.
Yeah.
And I found Mirdif to be just the place.
Yeah.
It had everything I needed. It had a very homely, safe environment. It was very, very calm.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. So I was there.
Then you guys got the amazing mall, which has like very exclusive shops that's only in Mirdif. Like it's amazing how that
it's got everything.
Mirdif Mall, literally, Mirdif City Center literally has exclusive places that no other place in Dubai has?
They're always opening new restaurants. It's on my doorstep. I go to gym there. It's just a nice place to live, and I work from home, so I chose where I wanted to be, and to be here for this interview, it was a 25-minute drive.
Yeah.
So whenever I want to go down into the other parts of Dubai, which is quite rare because I don't do business here as such, no meetings, no interviews, so it's only 20-25 minutes. Calm.
I'm gonna throw you a curveball. Jungle Scout. You know it?
Yeah, of course.
Of course, you know Jungle Scout. Which countries do you sell the most in? Like, which countries are you like operating the most in?
US,
Just US second.
UK,
Okay.
and then Canada, then Germany.
Okay. So for us, that's very, very, very unique. You said it, because when we sold our products, I would never say the products that we sold, because you know how it is. You don't sit there and tell your products to the world, right? You never. That's like rule number one with this, isn't it? Right?
Yes, with Amazon, but when you have your own brand and you're driving traffic to your own website, then you become less secretive about.
And I think we made a mistake, and I think probably my wife will probably like this episode the most, because we were doing Amazon FBA to move here
From
the UK. Nobody knows that.
you were in the UK?
Yeah, I lived in the UK for 6 years.
Where?
I was in Gloucester, close to Bristol.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which part of UK are you from?
London East. Yeah,
London,
East London.
East London. Yeah, so we were living in the UK, and we were selling in Australia, Canada, UK, and USA. And we had learned from these people called marketplace superheroes.
Yeah.
You know, Stefan and the other boy from Ireland. Like, yeah, man, I really was on that jump. So like we was studying and all that. We was like selling this stuff. We had like kebab skewers and lasagna luggers and all that stuff. And we actually, it's funny because we started a company. It was called Hayawi. So we were selling the stuff on there. And I think like we wasn't like, actually, I think I still have in my mom's house in America, I have like, I think 150 stock. So I took it out of Amazon and we put it in my mom's closet. If anybody wants it, you can take it. Like, I mean, you can have it. If you're in USA and you want it, you can have it. Like, we literally have it there. The kebab skewer is off the hook. But anyways, the Jungle Scout, like, tell the people a little bit about like FBA ain't as simple as people think it is. Like, I just said a little bit about me doing it, but like, tell them that there's many different levels to it and things like that. Don't give them like anything like no full blown course or nothing, but
yeah, sure,
just a little like throw a little something out there.
Yeah, so FBA is fulfilled by Amazon, meaning you can get your stock made in China or elsewhere, and then you can get it shipped directly from the supplier all the way to Amazon's warehouses.
By the freight, by the ship, right?
Yeah, by ship or by air. And then Amazon will store your products for you. And when a customer buys your product on Amazon, they will fulfill it. And if there are any returns or customer service, Amazon will take care of all that for you. In exchange, they take a fee, a commission, and a fulfillment fee to handle this for you. So I've been selling in the US. I do, multiple 7 figures in the US. I've never been to the US, and I'm able to run my entire business, in the US from here in Dubai.
Yeah, absolutely amazing. And you know what? We actually, I think when we first came here, because like when we came here, we were still doing FBA. When I first came in 2021, we were actually still doing it. And I think someone was like, yeah, you should start a company. It's like, what do you do? I was like, oh, I do YouTube. I do delivery driving. I do FBA. I do like this and this. And I think because of the lack of knowledge and us coming here and like the new life, like we didn't continue with it. And it's like, I feel like we have the knowledge, and we have like, we're probably even positioned even better that we're here to actually probably dive back into something like that. So I don't think, like, I always look across at the guests who Allah decreed to be across from me, and I always take advice from them, and I look and say like, what is Allah's greater wisdom that this person is across from me, or we met each other and things like that. You've sparked a little something which was buried, is because we just gave up on it. Bro, I got 150 products in my mom's closet. My mom will be here in 1 month, like it's actually interesting. But would you say that, what would your advice be to someone who was doing FBA or Amazon FBA and they gave up? What would you say?
That you only fail in something if you stop doing it. Mm-hmm. All right. So if you've struggled with e-commerce or you struggled with anything and you've had a few L's, then if you take those L's and do nothing with them, then that's a failure. But if you keep on doing it and you get the right help and you make the right moves, eventually, guaranteed, eventually, you will find your way. One person I know had 17 failed products. 17.
Bro, we had one failed product from the 3 different products, 4 different things. So we was 11 out of 12, and then we just sold out and stopped.
SubhanAllah.
Like, why? I don't understand why we just didn't keep going. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, maybe you were distracted with the UAE and these other.
I was messing with crypto, bro. I was doing delivery driving, Amazon FBA, crypto, YouTube, moving here. Like, I was everywhere. And then, like, when I sold crypto, like, because like it was wild, bro. All I say was that was a wild time during COVID.
Yeah, absolutely. Because if you moved here in 21, that was a bull market, bro. Like, things were popping off. People were getting easy 5, 10, 20x's, and
on everything.
Yeah,
on NFTs and everything, bro. let me be quiet. Let me just not talk too much.
No.
Yeah,
real talk. So it seemed like you were chasing many shiny objects and you were kind of thinly spread out, right?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and we didn't commit fully to one.
And that's what I've learned. Like in business is more about saying no than yes. What you say no to means you're saying yes to something else that's more pressing. And now I'm sure you get this all the time. You get loads of opportunities come your way.
Yeah.
And it's very distracting to kind of say, actually, that looks really cool. And because your thing might be a bit hard because you're actually in the weeds of it and you know the reality of the situation, it's very easy to think that the grass is greener on the other side and to jump onto a new opportunity. However, what you're looking at is the surface level, because there's shit everywhere. Like there's shit in your grass, there's shit in that grass. The only thing is that you're not aware of the shit in that grass.
If it's diarrhea, if it's lumps, or if it's like
you don't know, but
green or brown.
Exactly. But from the surface level, it looks very nice and shiny.
Yeah, man, it does. I thought it was gold, maybe.
Yeah. Maybe from a certain angle, right? But so what I've learned is say no. You have your thing, double down, double. Every time I get something that tries to distract me, it's like the woman in the red dress in the Matrix saying no to it. You double down, no, double down, no, double down.
Yeah. So you said brand. I have a brand, American in Dubai. Like if you were to say like, cause like I see you as very experienced in this e-commerce thing. What advice would you give to me? Now, yes, guys, yes, I'm gonna be selfish because I have him across from me. I'm gonna ask my questions. So listen, for me, with this brand, let's say I have a brand, American in Dubai. I have some knowledge about Amazon FBA. I'm here in the UAE. I'm American. What would you say? Like, yo, bro, a good idea for you is this. Like, say for example, like, yeah, what would you say? Because I like me asking you, I kind of got an idea, and then I'll ask you what I'm thinking after you tell me.
Yeah. So I'm not. Like, I know how to brand and market. I've learned that just by doing branding and marketing.
They're loud, ain't they?
They are loud, but all good. Yeah. We've got their room, so. But what I know first and foremost is I'm a physical products guy. I know how to take a physical product and just make it something, a household name. So in your case, you have the American in Dubai angle or niche, and there are loads of Americans here, right, in Dubai. So if you wanted to leverage that kind of brand that you built, your personal brand, then I would create something that would serve your audience. So one idea might be scented candles, where and you have these different scents from different cities back home. So the smell of New York, Chicago, Los Angeles, and where they can light these candles in their house, and it takes them back home, nostalgic. And you can charge a lot of money for this, a lot of money, because what you're selling isn't a candle, you're selling a trip down memory lane.
Memory lane. Yeah, that's actually really, really interesting. But isn't there like regulations? Because I remember one other thing that we was like told, like by marketplace superheroes, don't sell like things where there's a possibility where you can get it, like they won't like allow it, like food, or for example maybe candles or this or that. Like they said don't do it because maybe it don't get approved and make it like
So when that's what I do with my students to a large extent, but because I don't want them to have to worry about compliance issues and getting ungated. These are unnecessary complications. However, I have many students who have found a good opportunity, which did mean they needed to deal with and navigate these compliance issues. I've got students who sell coffee, who sell gummy bears, who sell all types of stuff, and we've had to get the certifications and things sorted, which is a bit of a headache, but that's good. Like if there's friction in something, it means that many people will not
will back off of it.
Exactly. But if you know, and we figured it out. We give you the SOPs, the templates. Do this, do that. We have someone on our team who used to work for Amazon seller support for 5 years.
Dope.
So she knows exactly what to say, who to go to. And so it's not as bad as it seems.
Yeah.
So
so that makes me a little bit more confident, because you know what? But then what else made me confident is that I had a tenant in JVC who was renting from me an apartment, and this guy was doing e-commerce, bro. My guy who's from Nigeria, he was selling the whey protein, making people get buff, making people look like they on the steroids. He was selling the protein, and he had his own brand. He was selling a big jump, like the big boy bottle of the protein. And I just remember seeing his numbers, and I'm sure I seen like 6 digits, bro. And I'm looking, I'm saying, bro, you're a shirtless Nigerian guy in JVC on your laptop making 6 figures and just paying for your rent for the next 3 or 4 hours. I was impressed with what he was doing on e-commerce. So another thing that a lot of people say is that, what will I do when I come to Dubai? What will I do? Like, I need a job. For me, Kali Wali, I don't think about being employed by nobody. And if my situation starts to gear towards that, someone thinks that I'm their employee or they have something, it makes me shut down like like the car battery dies. So if you make me think that I'm like your employee or this or that, Kali Wali, you can wrap it all up.
We were talking about this offline.
Yeah.
If you don't mind.
Yeah, go ahead. For no problem.
I want to go back to what we were talking about. What's the plan with you now then? Because it sounds like you're dealing with a few issues with your company. Where does Darren go from here?
Yeah, and it tends to be when a newborn baby comes, there's always a shift. Now I have to take my time and consider because I'm not running Labreeze anymore. I'm not running Labreeze, meaning that I'm not in charge of everything how I was before. So what does that do? It gives me more time. What does more time mean? It means that I can do content. I can focus on my sales. I can focus on real estate. I can focus on family and all the other avenues. Now, for me, it's amazing that you asked the question, is because this is what's on my mind right now, is that what am I gonna do? One part of me is like, go full blown American in Dubai. Another part is like, continue like at the same pace for real estate. And then another side is like, create more passive incomes here so that, you know what I mean, that you can be comfortable,
more free,
more free and more comfortable here. So currently, yes, I am in a more freelance position under the umbrella of Lubries, meaning that still a broker, still, if whatever, still have my hand involved in like, steering people this direction, that direction in regards of running the actual company. But as far as full blown all the way on my shoulders, not anymore. So yeah.
Amazing. So you're at a fork in the road then.
Yeah, fork in the road. But that's the best place to be, isn't it?
That's exciting. It's a bit anxiety inducing, but also exciting.
Yeah. I think there's always a huge blessing when in the UAE and there's a new Emirates ID being printed.
I can't do this anymore.
Glasses.
It's too much.
But bro, it's bright in here.
Yeah.
But the headphones is good though, right?
It's good.
Yeah. So with the actual I'm saying that with a new Emirates ID being printed, there's always a huge opportunity to come. So this is my 5th Emirates ID. Many people haven't come to take their first one. First one I came as a freelancer, got my Emirates ID. Then I worked for Benefits. Then I worked for Rosenham. Then I was partner for Libreeze. Now I'm manager for Libreeze. So 5th Emirates ID. 5 times blood had to be taken. So alhamdulillah, this is something which is normal here. Whenever some kind of shift happens with a trade license or this or that or whatever, like this is the process. You got to do the blood works, hold the family visa, and do like these kind of things. So yeah, man, that's pretty much that part of it. But I'm really thinking about trying to get this 150 kebab skewers out of my mom's house now. Like, so I'm really trying to get that out of my mom's house now that I'm thinking about it. But how could someone take it off from me if we have it there? It's not in the Amazon warehouse. It's in our house. How can we get it to an Amazon warehouse? Like use UPS or what? Like how could we do that?
No, easy. If you have your Amazon account still up and running, you can create a shipping label for these 150 units, and Amazon will send UPS at a really discounted rate, like 80% discounted.
Yeah,
they've got this exclusive deal with them, and they will come to your house and pick it up.
So I could just be like, all right, guys, so I got 150 kebab skewers for you in the summer right now in the United States in Virginia. If you want to get a kebab skewer, you can pay $5 at this link below and you can get your kebab skewer. If you want one, you better hurry up. We only got 150. Get your kebab on. Like that, yeah? And then just tuk. And then
hold on. To be, as in...
I may have just created a podcast thing with the... Oh, yeah, tell me.
But as in, if you're sending it to your audience individually, that's different to you sending it to Amazon and then selling it directly there.
No, or you can use Amazon and then you have it on Amazon. You get a payment, you get a link that's going to be on Amazon. You pretend you're selling it to your audience. You pay on TikTok or Instagram a little bit of a boost. Now it's going to a specific location.
But what's the goal?
Like this.
Are you trying to break even on your investment? Or are you trying to?
Oh no, bro! I broke negative. Those things are like 2 years old, more than 2 years. No, what are we in 2025?
We are,
bro. Those things from like 2022.
Yeah, I mean,
no, 2020, 2021, 20. They're old, bro.
Yeah,
I should give them away.
No, yeah,
no.
You should sell them at break even. So if they cost you $3 a unit, just
yeah.
Because you can sell them for $3 a unit easily. There are liquidation companies in the US that would pay you cost price and just take them off your hands.
But we don't know how to get in contact with those kind of people.
You talk to them online.
The liquidation people.
Yeah, there are loads of them. And I've had to liquidate some of my products over the years that just weren't moving. And
it's not even that they weren't moving. We just sold the whole stock in one day in the UK, apparently. Alhamdulillah. In one day, boom. But we there was like an influencer who used it, and then the next thing you know, they all sold out.
There we go.
So I think there's some kind of room there. But like me, I'm not totally against. I actually during the time when, so I had funded it for my wife to run it, to do it, but I was not the one paying attention to it. I just left it to her because I was doing the crypto, not real estate, crypto, YouTube, delivery driving on 4 different apps. So I was busy on that stuff. I was not really focusing on Amazon. But now that I think about it, it's like, yo, it's actually a good idea. We're not so far from China as well, are we? So have you been China?
I was just there.
When? Last week?
I came back 3 weeks ago.
So how do you feel when you're in China? Is it scary?
I've been there 3 times now. I was there last year as well, and then in 2019.
But it's not scary. You were there in 2019?
Yeah, in 2019, and then last year and this year.
But how is China like? Is it scary?
No, it's amazing, bro.
For real?
Yeah,
It's futuristic?
No, what they've got certain cities are. I've been to Shenzhen. That's very.
Yo, that's the one where all the products are. I remember.
Shenzhen. That's quite futuristic. Guangzhou is more industrial. Is one of the bigger cities. Is where they host the Canton Fair twice a year. Nanchang is like something out of Mad Max. It's just crazy.
Is Mad Max anime?
No, Mad Max is a movie that came out a few years ago. Which it's just like this old. No, again, I'm being a bit dramatic, but it's not that bad. But it's nothing like Shenzhen. Shanghai is quite nice, and yeah, China is just mad, bro. I love it. I love it so much.
Are they like really like years ahead of America and UK?
It depends where you go. Like I was staying in a nice hotel in Guangzhou, and they've got no room service people. Like around the whole hotel, they've got these little robots just going about. That can speak to the elevators through a signal, press a button through a signal. They go to your door. They deliver your food. The toilets, for example, you open the toilet door, the door, like the flush just open. I mean the lid opens. Yeah, and it's just crazy. But obviously, I've also been in other hotels that didn't have that, so it does vary. But China is generally quite advanced, but it varies from town to town, building to building. I hired a guy who was my videographer, and he lived in a part of China that wasn't so. I mean, part of Guangzhou that wasn't so nice, and he was quite shocked when he came to the part I was staying in. So it varies, bro.
That's interesting. Yeah, I would definitely go.
Yeah,
out there.
but as a black guy in China, it's quite nice. I've had people come up to me and ask for selfies, just randomly, you know, because
I'll eat that up. I'll be like, oh, you must be one of my YouTube subscribers.
yeah. One guy thought I was a basketball player. I'm like, bro, I can't shoot a hoop, bro. Oh, what's good? But it's funny.
Yeah, man. Look, it looks like the big boss is coming. He's saying time for us to probably wrap it up. We probably will wrap it up. Any final thoughts or anything that you want to say to the people?
On which topic I can go down a million different roads.
No, the one most of my viewers, they mostly want to come to Dubai and they want to make money. What would you say to those who want to come here and make money?
If you want to come here, instead of moving here and burning the boats and making the drastic change, why don't you say, I'm going to test it out and just come out here for 2 weeks? Just actually see it for yourself, because you could be saying great things about it. I could be saying great things about it, but the reality for them might be different. And if they come out and move and then they face that reality, then it's kind of going to be really uncomfortable. But if they come out, so you know, I'll check it out. So whatever you want to do, whether it's starting a business or starting or moving to a country, just test it out. Whenever I want to buy a new car, I don't buy the car straight away. I rent the car for like a week or so. I rent it for, and if I still want the car after I'm done with it, then I buy it. But because there are different things that you experience with the car or the country after actually, using it. Yeah. So yeah, man, test it out. Bismillah.
Yeah, that's actually really good advice. I was gonna say a funny joke, but I will not say it. Jazakallah khairan for your time.
وياك حبيبي.
Barakallah feek. May Allah reward you. All right, guys. So for that episode, that's gonna be it. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, subscribe, turn on your bell notification, leave your comments and questions down below. And until next time, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله.